There's something that we need to remember as we begin this section, and it's coming from our friend Chelsea.
But so even though we have these kidneys that are amazing that will filter our blood, or we have all the lymphatic system passing lymph through our tissues to support our immune systems, that's all there. But obviously, if we're not exercising or using the musculoskeletal system, then it's very quickly the systems can sort of start to shut down.
The systems are there. If we don't use them, they don't do anything, physical or spiritual. But the good news is the deck is stacked to help us use these systems. In fact, Swedenborg says that everything we see offers us a means for reflection. This is Divine Love and Wisdom 63. There is some reference to the human form in everything in the created universe, but we are able to see this fact only obscurely. In the spiritual world, though, people see this clearly. Everything in the animal, vegetable, and mineral kingdoms exists there as well, surrounding each angel. Angels see these things around themselves and are aware that they are pictures of their own selves. In fact, when the very heart of their understanding is opened, they recognize themselves and see their own image in their surroundings, almost like a reflection in a mirror. And I think about a lot of indigenous cultures who have sort of nature symbolism, where particular animals mean certain things and actions of animals mean, and is that sort of seeping in from the way that heaven sees things. So we can work with this process by seeing, even if we can't understand the message everything is sending at us, we can do it by self-reflecting. And Swedenborg spells this out in his Journal of Spiritual Experiences. So this is being read from there along with some graphics to lift the spirit. So here it is.
I was just conversing with spirits and angels about reflection, to which I do not know whether people have given enough attention, and it was said that if they give it some thought, they will discover more secrets in the doctrine of reflection than in any other. When we do not reflect on the things in our own mind, or our motivation, how we are thinking, what we are doing, what is motivating our actions, without reflection we know nothing, except that we are, and nothing else, not what we are. On the other hand, if we reflect upon ourselves from the viewpoint of others, or allow others to reflect upon us and to say what we are like, then for the first time we are able to know ourselves. Otherwise we can never learn, but remain in our own illusions and from them reflect upon others. So one thinks truths are falsities because one is judging from one's illusions. For such as the starting point is, such also is everything that follows. Spirits especially stay after death in a state devoid of reflection. This is also the reason that they cannot tell but that they are earthly people living in the world as before. So they remain in their illusions and live on as the character they had been at death. But as soon as the power of reflection is given them by the Lord, they know that they are in the other life, a belief to which they can hardly be brought until they are given something, or rather, many things, to reflect on. But illusions rooted into their character still remain. Consequently, spirits cannot at all help thinking that they are better than the rest, especially those who had been arrogant in life, those who dislike being reflected upon. However, when they are brought into a state of reflection, they are brought into a state of better life, for then for the first time they are able to know themselves and know more truly what they are. Moreover, even the doctrine of faith accomplishes nothing at all with people unless the Lord enables them to reflect. That is the very reason why people learn what is good and true from the word of the Lord, namely, so that from what they learn, they may reflect upon themselves as to whether they are as they ought to be. This reflection is given them at certain times, especially times of distress. It is of the utmost importance, therefore, to learn truths. Without spiritual knowledge, there can be no reflection, thus no reformation. However, they who fall into passions and illusions are unable to reflect from a viewpoint of truths until those chills and those shadows have been dispelled.
Truths can push out illusions. So, what do you guys think about that whole thing?
Wait, so I'm supposed to spend my time worrying and obsessing over what people think of me?
Okay, all right, wait. No. That's not what it means at all. I can see how you might think that. Yeah, right. You don't want to just like think, what are people thinking about me, and have that run your life. That's not what that meant, because people are thinking about you from their own illusions in the first place. But also afterwards, let's consider it from this perspective. There is something to the idea of letting other people reflect on you, or thinking about your impact from their perspective. If you're only thinking about how do I affect myself, then you can't ever get to feel like, how does it affect someone else to be me? How does me being like I am, doing what I do, affect them? And this, you can kind of see the spirit around it in these things from near-death experience quotes. So let's take a look from neardeath.com. This is people who have gone through life reviews and had processes of reflection. You can see the love in it. A life review, seeing and experiencing major and trivial events of one's life, sometimes from the perspective of the other people involved, and coming to some conclusion about the adequacy of that life and what changes are needed. So that's something that you go through, and that is, like a part of the whole thing, but you'll see the attitude behind it here. So here's the next quote from neardeath.com. The being of light a person encounters almost immediately directs a certain thought to the person into whose presence it has come so dramatically. Usually the persons with whom I have talked try to formulate the thought into a question. Among the translations I have heard are you prepared to die? Are you ready to die? What have you done with your life to show me? And what have you done with your life that is sufficient? The first two formulations, which stress preparation, might at first seem to have a different sense from the second pair, which emphasize accomplishment. It goes on to say, incidentally, all insist that this second kind of question, ultimate and profound as it may be in its emotional impact, is not at all asked in condemnation. The being, all seem to agree, does not direct the question to them to accuse or to threaten them, for they still feel the total love and acceptance coming from the light, no matter what their answer may be. Rather, the point of the question seems to be to make them think about their lives, to draw them out. It is, if you will, a Socratic question, one asked not to acquire information, but to help the person who is being asked to proceed along the path to the truth by himself. That's the same spirit by which we're looking at how do I affect other people? Not what do other people think of me in their own messed up minds, but how do I make other people feel? What is my impact?